For the next hour, deepen your shade of green. This is the Shades of Green radio show, featuring the latest in technology, money-saving ideas, legislative updates, and all things green. The Shades of Green radio show is presented by the Green Alliance. Now here's your hosts, Paul Ira and Stan Hannell.
Good morning. This is Shades of Green radio show on KDWN 720 AM and 101.5 FM here in Las Vegas. Our show is produced by the Green Alliance of Nevada, and I'm your host, Paul Ira. We also have in studio here Stan Hannell.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Stan. We have on the line Tom Polikalas. How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. I hope the connection does as well as the Verizon commercials on the Super Bowl said it would.
You sound almost as good as you look, Tom.
That's scary.
Thank you. Thank you for being on the show. Today we are Tom's with SWEEP, Southwest Energy Efficiency Program, and we're talking about the Nevada Electric Transportation Forum. So, Tom, first, I'd like to let our listeners know we've got listeners from the West Coast clear to the Mississippi River, I'm sure, and border to border. Our phone number is 702-257-5396. That's 702-257-KDWN. We're going to do a little overview of the 80th session of the Nevada Legislature, which begins today in Carson City and will run into early June of this year. So Nevada citizens interested in following the different bills being created by local members of the Assembly and State Senate can monitor the progress of bill draft requests online. They are worked through the Legislative Committee to become laws. The Nevada Electronic Legislative Information System, or NELIS, allows anyone to set up an account and view bills that they're interested in. And that website, give us that website, Stan.
Yeah, it's https:// for legislature .state state.nv for Nevada .us / capital APP for app / capital NELIS for Nellis / REL, and then 80th 2019, the 80th legislative session starting in 2019, starting today.
So basically www.leg.state.nv.
Right. And you can click on the menus to find it as well.
And you can wade your way around in that website and find everything you need to know.
It's actually not too hard. It's kind of interesting.
That was kind of long, but www.leg.state.nv. So, Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself and tell us some more about Southwest Energy Efficiency Program.
Well, Southwest Energy Efficiency Project, or SWEEP, is a nonprofit advocacy group working in 6 states, 5 others in addition to Nevada, to advance energy efficiency and clean transportation. We do have a transportation program with one of our analysts coming out to participate in the Nevada Electric Transportation Forum this past Friday.
Very good. Thank you. And how is the Nevada Electric Transportation Forum collaborating with the Nevada Governor's Office of Energy and its new director, David Bosden?
David Bobzien is a fantastic advocate for all things clean energy tech related. The partnership that we put together for this particular forum included the Governor's Office of Energy, also had an academic tie with the University of Nevada-Reno InNEVation Center powered by Switch, also with NV Energy and a number of other sponsors who supported the event, including Nissan. So a very broad-based collaboration with the Governor's Office of Energy. They recently released a report which is really a milestone, very in-depth. Want to commend the Governor's Office of Energy for retaining 2 analysts and consultants, Marie Steele and Lauren Rosenblatt. It's a fantastic report and available on the Governor's Office of Energy's website.
Yeah, Marie was on our show last week, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. She's a great advocate for this effort as well. So, electrifying Nevada's 21st century transportation system. Actions, opportunities, aspirations were published by the Nevada Governor's Office of Energy during the January 2019. What goals and objectives are outlined in this research paper?
Well, I think fundamentally there are 3 tremendous advantages to the state of Nevada, all Nevadans, not those uniquely, not just EV drivers. And first off, air quality. We're taking a look at the air sheds in Clark County and Washoe County and seeing increasingly just challenges to maintaining levels of emissions that comply with federal requirements. Non-compliance has, along with it, economic costs as well as environmental costs and health costs. So to the extent that EVs hit the road, air quality is going to be better, and that's something that we can all breathe easier about. Literally, we have all of us have an incentive to get. If you're breathing air, we want to see more EVs on the road, and that's kind of a quick bottom line. Economically, we can use Nevada's fuel that we produce here, which is electricity. So from an economic standpoint, to the extent that we can displace imports of gasoline and petroleum, then we're going to have dollars. Our transportation dollars will stay local. So we'll be, whether it be from your own rooftop solar, through a community solar array, or electricity produced by NV let's use the fuel, i.e. electricity, that we produce here in Nevada.
Yeah, and I think, Tom, one of the speakers mentioned that's billions of dollars a year, I think, that's going out of state.
Yeah, that came up several times. Assemblyman Howard Watts of District 15 in Las Vegas, he moderated the Economic Development Panel. That came up both on the panel discussion, several speakers. I mean, it should be something that we want to reiterate time and time again to really get people thinking about an outflow from our state's economy to the extent of $8 billion. I mean, that I think State Senator Brooks really encapsulated that. Said $8 billion is the state budget.
Wow.
And I mean, we're talking big dollars. So if we can electrify Nevada's transportation system, that is a huge economic stimulus. We keep the dollars local. There are multiplier effects, as you know. When we spend a dollar locally, you get additional spending, and I think that the overall multiplier ends up being about 2.2.
Wow.
So let's come together as a state and figure out how we can advance our economic development by electrifying transportation.
Fantastic. Great.
Thank you, Tom. Was that 3 or is that 2?
We're on number 5.
No, I meant he said 3 things.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, no matter who you are, go ahead.
Yeah, one more for the third benefit, and this is a very interesting point that was brought up by a couple of speakers, including by my colleague Matt Fromer, and then also by Cameron Dyer of Western Resource Advocates. So the fuel that we use when we power electric transportation, obviously electricity is going to have some impact on the grid. And because of the nature of when most of the charging occurs, which is at night off-peak, electric transportation gives NV Energy and all electric providers and ratepayers a chance to utilize the grid much more economically. So we can leverage the asset that's already in place. And what all the speakers that have done the research and a variety of other studies have shown is that electric transportation actually puts downward pressure on rates. So even if you're not driving EV, it's still a benefit to see more EVs on the road, because in a study recently done for Arizona, they're showing the potential of $180 a year for electric ratepayers when we hit 20% market penetration for electric vehicles. Now, that's a ways down the road, but still at least illustrates the potential or the premise that electric transportation benefits ratepayers. So
thank you, Tom.
Else that's exciting.
We're going to take a short break and talk some more about EVs when we come back. We'll be right back to Shades of Green on KDWN. Good morning, and we are back to Shades of Green on KDWN 720 AM and 101.5 FM here in the Valley of Sun and Sin, Las Vegas. Like the man just said about Power Shift program, those of you who don't have your free programmable thermostats out there, check in with NV Energy. Get your free programmable thermostat. It's one of the best ways to save money. Get it installed before the summer starts. I guarantee you will save money. Plus, it's very practical, and it's very user-friendly. Use your phone to set your temperature. It's all good stuff. Just another little plug there for NV Energy and their Power Shift program. Tom, thank you for being on the phone with us this morning. We have Tom Polikalas of the SWEEP, Southwest Energy Efficiency Project, and we are talking about the Nevada Electric Transportation Forum. So, Tom, tell us, the new legislative sessions coming up. What are some of the policies that might be implemented that's going to help with transportation goals and objectives?
So great question, but I was remiss in recognizing the Green Alliance in having been instrumental in this whole endeavor. This is what transpired Friday is the second annual Electric Transportation Forum. In 2018, Green Alliance partnered with SWEEP to hold a more modest size, still a great number of stakeholders, including State Energy Office, Public Utility Commission, a number. But this year we actually went beyond capacity for the facility, so we're on a growth path. But the seed was planted by the Green Alliance and SWEEP back in 2018. So shifting back to your question on policies, there's a number of concepts. I think right now the bill drafts have still kind of been under wraps with details, but a number of ways to accelerate the electrification of transportation in Nevada. One would be to expand the funding available for electric charging stations. Now, in 2017, SB 145 provided that electric vehicle charging and batteries could have access to the incentives and rebates and so forth made available to solar technologies through the Renewable Generations Program. So that was a great step forward. Then Public Utility Commissioner Breslow, a little bit down the road in the year that followed, there was a docket that earmarked $15 million of those funds to be uniquely available to EV charging infrastructure and related infrastructure. So that was a great step forward. But at some point in time, those funds are going to be depleted. So we're trying to figure out a way that that could be increased. So a number of analysts, including Western Resource Advocates, are working on that concept. We're taking a look at if there's any way, as in other states, Oregon and Washington provides a sales tax incentive. EVs, as you know, typically cost more than their internal combustion engine counterparts. So if we can come up with a little bit of a sales tax break and try to come up with essentially a lower tax rate on a higher cost item, we can essentially come to equivalency on sales tax. And then because EVs produce such a large fuel savings for consumers. So one of the stats that came out from this particular forum was that a driver in Nevada that switches to electric transportation is looking at saving maybe an average of $1,000 a year on their fuel costs. So most likely, when Nevadans are saving $1,000 a year, most of us are going to be spending that money in the local economy. So we're going to get a sales tax increase from just increased local spending.
Yeah. So
that go ahead.
Yeah, so that's a great concept. You're looking at total cost of ownership versus just the initial cost to purchase the vehicle. Over time, it helps pay for itself.
Yeah, exactly. So it produces benefits not only for the driver, but also for our community at large. Then so those are two key incentive concepts. Still kind of in the exploratory phase on some others. And I know that there will be likely a bill or two that will take a look at how we fund our transportation system. So we know that roads and whether it be construction or maintenance, that's a challenge. And what is a misperception is that EVs are really causing any of the problems. A very significant component of road, a drop in funds available for road construction simply comes from inflation, that in most jurisdictions, the gas tax hasn't been indexed for inflation, so that proved to be a large problem. So this goes beyond simply the EV discussion, but transportation issues in general will be concepts that I think will be very important in the upcoming session. And so that kind of, and these are addressed, and again, going back to the Governor's Office of Energy's report, it's fleshed out in much better detail in that report than I'm currently conveying.
What was great about the Nevada Electric Transportation Forum is the young leaders, our next generation of leaders in Nevada. Assemblyman Howard Watts, Assemblywoman Sarah Peters up in Reno. Basically, you see that they already have a pretty good understanding of electric vehicles and what they can do and what their potential is. So it's great to see them getting on board, and we'll probably see some bills from them coming up.
Right, and with Assemblywoman Peters, she comes from a science background. She has, so as we get into a number of issues that, from air quality, so it's just great to see, and she's one of several that, and certainly Assemblyman Watts has an extensive background in environmental issues. He's been involved in a number. Also, he has a tremendous communications background, which is very vital to delivering the message. So a number of others, certainly State Senator Brooks, he delivered an incredibly powerful call to action at the conclusion of the Transportation Forum. Just that now's the time to really bring Nevada to the forefront in leadership on these issues. The imperative from an economic and a climate standpoint, we're facing huge challenges, but there's also huge opportunities. Clean tech and electric transportation being a subset of that can create jobs and really enhance our economic development too. But we're facing some really critical environmental issues, but clean tech can address them in a positive manner.
Yeah, and I think Senator Brooks also said that Nevada is kind of unique in that because we're such a young kind of unobstructed state, we can do these things without having as many challenges as other states would have, obstacles, entrenched businesses and industries. We can move forward on solar and electric cars and move at a pretty good pace.
Right, and so to that extent, Nevada becomes the bright light in the chandelier of getting off fossil fuels, both for electric use in the home, but also then getting off fossil fuels in the transportation sector. There are lithium mines in Nevada. We've got the Gigafactory up north. Huge solar resources throughout Nevada, particularly in southern Nevada. So really it's the opportunity to lead the nation in reducing emissions. We can have at least the vision of our transportation system being powered by renewable energy. And that's a compelling vision, and certainly we're a ways away from that now. But by setting that as a long-term goal and vision, I think that we can start putting into place additional steps in this session to work to get there.
We hope we're going to get there this year, and we're going to have a lot of progress in the energy world. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Shades of Green on KDWN 720 and 101.5. Good morning, and we are back at Shades of Green radio show on KDWN 720 AM and 101.5 FM. Like the man said, go online to greenalliance.nv.org and become a Green Alliance member and help us move forward all these great initiatives. This morning, we have Tom Polikalas of SWEEP on, and we're talking about the Nevada Electric Transportation Forum. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
Marvelous.
Good to be back. Thank you.
Hey, how is the Public Utility Commission of Nevada involved in facilitating electric transportation infrastructure within the state, and what are their insights? And did Commissioner Ann
Pongratz, very, very sharp individual. I think that one of the takeaways that I gleaned from Commissioner Pongratz's keynote message is that we really need to, as a society, and the stakeholders look to the goals that we'd articulated in the previous session of economic benefits, environmental benefits, utility ratepayer benefits, and then the second challenge becomes each of us has a role to play in that. She cited an example. She's been driving electric for a while and had mentioned that she had been looking for a particular vehicle in a particular color, went to a dealer to ask for them to access a vehicle for her that she really wanted, and the particular dealership sent her elsewhere, said that she could get it out of state. And, that's from a sales and marketing perspective, that's not really the ideal way to approach a customer that's interested in a product, right? So all of us, whether it be automotive dealerships now getting increased interest in electric vehicles, maybe the dealerships have been more oriented towards internal combustion engines, but that's one sector in which we need to see additional marketing and outreach from the dealerships. Certainly, NV Energy has a key role to play. Want to commend NV Energy for 2 ride-in drives. There was, in this past October, I know that there were 2, one coordinated in the northern Nevada area, one in southern Nevada, in which you could come test drive an electric vehicle. Just a great educational experience because most of us have not been behind the wheel of an EV. We have no idea what that experience is. So kind of part of that, again, call to all of us at large. We need to get better educated and even really to get that personal experience, whether or not you're planning on buying an EV, but just, take a test drive. If you're looking for a new car, it may shift your perception as to what you want to buy.
I think that's great advice, Tom. And being an old gearhead, when I come from a gearhead family, the first time I drove an EV, and I had the fortunate opportunity to win a date with a Tesla P100.
Nice.
And I can't tell you how fast they are. I mean, being an old gearhead and liking to drive fast, electric vehicles are fast. Now, that's a Tesla, but the rest of them are kind of the same way. They're very responsive, and they're quiet. You don't have that noise, so they're even quieter inside to drive. I love the experience.
It's surprising, just to build on what you said, Paul. So there's a company up in northern Nevada called Electrotherm, which can produce electricity from waste heat, so kind of innovative clean tech company. Their president, John Fox, has a Nissan Leaf, and he offered it up for a test drive. Now, John and the facility manager for Peppermill, myself, we're all up over 200 pounds. The general manager, Stephen Esquaga, certainly $150. So, 4 large passengers in a Nissan Leaf, and all of us were amazed how quick off the line this car was and is for those of you doing test drives. They're a surprise. So just encouraging more people to go check them out should there be future test drives and ride and drive opportunities, whether it be through the utility or through at the Green Festival, in whatever way, shape, or form. Or if you know somebody that has an EV, ask them to take you out for a drive. It's a really surprising experience.
Stan, tell us about some of the EVs out there. I mean, we hate to bring up Tesla all the time, but there are plenty of other cars out there. Tell us about that.
Yeah, they're coming. And what's so good is we're seeing a second wave where the used to be 75, 80 miles to 100 in range. Now you're starting to see ranges exceeding 200 miles. So basically, the Nissan Leaf just announced their 200-mile range car. The BMW i3 is getting an upgrade. The Chevrolet Bolt, B-O-L-T, just came out about a year ago, and it has a 220-mile range. The Tesla Model 3, of course, is the newest version of the Tesla. It starts at about 230 and goes up to 300. So that helps with people when they want to start looking cross-country. So now we're looking at trying to get that infrastructure so that I think Chris Brooks made a statement that for a state, we have a lot of land area here, a lot of rural area, but most of us, 80% of the population, lives in two small valleys. Down here in Las Vegas, there's about 2 million of us. There's about 1 million folks up around the Reno-Sparks area. And then, a lot smaller residential populations throughout the state. So that initially, even a 75 to 100-mile range is probably good enough for getting around those valleys. But to go cross-country, to go out of state, we need to build up infrastructure, and that's kind of the chicken and egg thing. Tesla's already done it with their supercharger network, but we're hoping to do something with our Nevada Electric Highway program, and there was some good talk about that, trying to put these DC fast charge stations every 50 miles along all our major highways.
That kind of takes us over here to Danilo Dragoni. Did I say that correct? And how's the Nevada Division of Environmental Protection involved with encouraging electric vehicles?
Right, Danilo Dragoni. So kind of broadening out the discussion, so electric transportation is not uniquely cars. Certainly we have light and heavy-duty trucks, school buses, a key part of transportation. So what the Nevada Division of Environmental Protection administers in their role, They have the grant funds that came from the settlement with VW related to the emissions and the diesel cheating scandal. So there is a pot of money that NDEP administers. They had their first round of grants in 2018, and we were pleased that I think the lion's share, 81% of the grants, to reduce NOx, nitrous oxide, was the key criteria pollutant that these grant funds are supposed to abate. But 80% of those grant funds went to electric transportation. So in a variety of so we're looking to NDEP for their second round of grant funding. That'll be upcoming, and that's what Danilo had addressed. So stay tuned. The NDEP website will have an announcement for whenever that second round of grant funding comes available. So for fleet operators, that can range from even ground transportation at airports, could be school buses, broad number of fleet operators. So that's another way that we can really reduce emissions in Nevada and reduce the importation of fossil fuels, is by looking at all those fleets. And so NDP has some money that can help facilitate that.
Yeah, I think there's an independent effort too by Rudy regarding school buses for healthy niños.
Kudos to Chispa and Rudy Zamora, who really has embraced that as a high priority cause. And so why not have school buses taking kids to school? They're zero emission. The electric school bus has zero emissions. So improving the air quality of kids, I think that is something that would be near and dear to all our hearts. But it's also kind of cool to have electric transportation being part of a school bus. That's also an educational step, right? I mean, so we're taking a look at electric transportation, batteries, all those types of technologies as being huge parts of the new energy industry economy globally. So to start to introduce to kids some of these clean energy technologies might help motivate them, might be something that helps steers them into a career that brings them into the clean energy sector. So, again, kudos to Chispa and Rudy for taking that as a very important cause, and one at which I'm sure they're going to be here at the legislature espousing later on the session.
Thank you, Tom. It's been great having you on the show today. We're going to move into another topic on the last segment, and I appreciate you being on Shades of Green on KDWN 720 and 101.5 FM.
Paul and Stan, thank you so much for the opportunity. Appreciate all the great work you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back to Shades of Green on KDWN. We are back to Shades of Green on KDWN 720 AM and 101.5 FM here in Las Vegas. Our show is produced by the Green Alliance of Nevada, and I'm your host, Paul Ira. We also have Stan Hannell in studio.
Good morning.
On the phone, we have Sarah Guterman, CEO of Green Builder Media, and we're going to be talking about Sustainability Symposium 2019. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here today.
It's a pleasure. And we're going to talk about Sustainability Symposium 2019, The Desert Shall Bloom, at the UNLV campus in the Artemis M.W. Ham Concert Hall on Monday, February 18th. So, Sarah, what sustainable topics will you be covering during the Sustainability Symposium?
Yeah, we're so excited about this symposium. It's our third annual symposium, and each one has been crafted to address the most relevant sustainability topics of the day. So this year's agenda is filled with brilliant sustainability leaders and innovative luminaries, including retired Army Chief of Staff General Wesley Clark, who will be talking about national sustainability and climate action policy, a national renewable energy standard, investment in advanced technologies and the transition to a sustainable future. We have internationally esteemed producer, director, and videographer Susan Kuchera, who actually just released an eco-documentary called Living in the Future's Past that was co-produced with the Academy Award-winning actor Jeff Bridges, and she'll be talking about what we call emergent sustainability, so transforming our culture and our social behavior en masse through things like emergent behavior, cognitive learning, and object-oriented ontology. She's incredibly interesting, as you can imagine, with those topic areas. We have a pioneering venture capitalist from the Bay Area, Andrew Beebe, who's a partner at Obvious Ventures, who is going to be talking about how we build and what the primary determinants are for cities and the built environment in general, talking about how, construction really hasn't changed in the last 75 years, and how by embracing advanced technology, things like robotics and automation, we can really make a lot of progress moving forward. We have Kim Shanahan, who's a national water expert, who will be talking about our national water issues, specifically in the western part of our country, using his home area, Santa Fe, as an example for what they have done to introduce innovative water policy and programs like a water bank. We have some renewable energy experts that will come and talk about advancements in photovoltaic and storage technologies that will allow us to decarbonize and decentralize our grid. We have Gwen Magita, who's the Chief Sustainability Officer for Caesars Entertainment, talking about engaging stakeholders in sustainability. And then last but certainly not least, we have the NBA Hall of Famer Bill Walton, who's going to have a raucous one-on-one conversation with Green Builder Media's president, Ron Jones, who's just a general industry provocateur and thought leader about really interesting and fun ideas for enhancing our sustainability within our lives and our businesses.
That's good stuff. Stan, you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, the width and breadth of it is amazing, and it's great. This will be the first time it's here in Nevada at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. It'll also be staged during the International Builder Show around the same time. So I think it's really neat that whole synergy. We first met you, Sarah, at the CES show this year, where you were showing a tiny home with a lot of different vendors showing smart home technologies as well. So Green Builder Media has really done a great job thinking ahead, trying to look at innovative technologies and trying to implement them in real-world examples.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing that up, because we will actually have that same tiny house at the Builder Show. In fact, we'll have an exhibit space in an area called the K-Biz Salon, which is in between the South Hall of the Las Vegas Convention Center and the Renaissance Hotel. So it's called the Align Project, and I encourage everyone to come find us there.
That's great. I'm looking at your brochure here on the Align Project and showing the Casita, Kasita. That's a cute little home. And that was shown, like Stan said, at the Consumer Electronics Show this year. We hope to see more of that.
That's fantastic. And it will be at International Builder Show as well. So that's the fun part. So in conjunction with the symposium, you'll be doing this thing for the real estate market, for the home builders, even for, I know a lot of elderly folks are looking at tiny homes as alternative housing going forward, on having some land and being able to put a tiny home on that's just the right size for their lifestyle.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of people downsize, and it will be a very busy week for us. So as we already said, on February 18th, Monday, we'll have the Sustainability Symposium 2019 at Ham Hall on the UNLV campus. And then on February 19th, 20th, and 21st, you can come see the Align Project at, again, the K-Biz Salon, which is part of the Design and Construction Week show. And we will be talking about a lot of right-sized living topics and advanced technologies, connected home concepts. So, again, please come visit us both at the Sustainability Symposium on the 18th and then for the rest of the week at the Align Project.
Wonderful. And how does a person register to attend the Sustainability Symposium 2019?
Yeah, if you go to our website at greenbuildermedia.com, we have a couple of different places you can link on from the homepage, or you can go to greenbuildermedia.com/desert-shell- Bloom-2019, which I know is a little complex, and you can register there.
Desert Shall Bloom 2019. That's great. I love the theme and that it's being held here in the desert for the first time here in University of Nevada, Las Vegas. That's fantastic. Also, we just wanted to make an announcement that each show about our upcoming Greenfest 2019 event in downtown Summerlin. That'll be on April 20th in celebration of Earth Day. We're going to have over 120 booths that will exhibit money-saving and environmentally friendly lifestyle choices that can help families live more sustainably in the Southern Nevada desert climate. It's really a friendly, family-friendly event, Paul, I think.
It is, and we always have a lot of kids out there playing. We have globe balls, if you will.
Right,
and
Earth balls.
last year we had a couple extra ones out there. The kids, they never stop moving. Those balls are constantly moving. There's always live music. We have multiple bands playing, plenty of good food to eat, and then if you get tired and hot, you can always go into the beer tent and enjoy the beer garden a little bit. Sarah, I'm looking again at your casita. Could you tell us a little bit about the design of that house? How big is it, and what is it designed for?
Sure. So that particular house is a little under 400 square feet, and actually through this project, the Align project, we're showcasing not so much that people should live in 400 square feet, but they certainly could quite comfortably and sustainably. So that particular unit is designed really as a showcase. A lot of people are using this casita home as an ADU or accessory dwelling unit. It has actually been designed so you can stack them 4 units high, or you can put multiple units together. So you put 2 together to get a 1-bedroom, or 2 together to get 3 together, you get a 2-bedroom. But it's designed to be net zero, so it's 100% solar powered. Everything on the exterior is designed to be efficient and resilient. Everything on the interior is designed to be healthy and non-toxic and sustainable and durable. Again, it's just a great project where we're exploring how we can align our lifestyles with our values and our environmental realities. So again, encourage you to come out and see us February 19th, 20th, and 21st at the K-Booth Salon.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for being on the show, and I understand we're going to see you next week, and you're going to take our whole show and talk more about this kind of concept.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
And so thanks, everybody, for listening to Shades of Green on KDWN, and we'll talk to you again next week. Keep it green out there. We'll see you next week.